is the North End. This is the North End.
Okay, and welcome back, Premier League fans. Welcome back, Aston Villa fans, and welcome back, North End fans. It is me, Luke, from the podcast, and it has been a couple of weeks. JP is a lazy swine. He apparently is at the beach. It's not bad living in California, hey? But I'm in New York, and the weather's been great, so won't complain. Check the shorts, look at those legs. Anyways, enough of the can-cans. We are here to talk about 5 things we learned from this weekend's Aston Villa game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, aka a local derby, aka another disappointment. I'm going to start with some positives, right? We still have to be cognizant of where we are as a team. We were going to get relegated potentially under Gerrard. We are challenging for a top 6 in a European place, as is right now. So to kind of be all negative across the board would be terrible, right? Unai has done a fantastic job. However, clearly we have things to discuss. But to start, let's keep positive. Number 1, Diego Carlos coming back. And immediately, you just see why this guy was so sought after. He came on, and within a couple of minutes, he pinged this 40-yard ball right across the pitch, right to left, right to the feet of, I believe it was Moreno moving forward with a great touch, of course. But just everything about the guy, he looks physically scary. He's a big lad, big unit. He loves to get himself in, and just obviously terrible injury just as we were starting to kind of incorporate him into the team. So it's great to see him back, and I'm hoping we'll start to see a bit more of him. It was interesting to see what Emery did. Obviously, Ashley Young came off. Makes sense. He is 37, or is he 38? Sending, obviously, Konza over to the right makes sense because he previously played there for Brentford as well. And it was nice to see him back. I think he got about 20-ish minutes, so positive, right? From there, there's not really a whole lot more that we can be positive about. So number 2 was, I'm going to call this flying without wings. Now, we cannot keep relying on Albert Moreno to do everything on that left side because he always wants to take the man on. He's going to get tired, and you're going to start seeing Digne, I think, a little bit earlier because Moreno works at such a high level. It's next to impossible to maintain that at that level, that intensity for 90 minutes. So very, very good to see him kind of getting that rotation and providing it. But other than that, we were just dreadful on the wings. Bailey, again, wasteful. Traore, wasteful, picks up an injury. I'm looking at what we're building, and we're talking about what we have at the moment here at this team, and we have an opportunity. We are building something nice. The team looks cohesive. They look like we've got some depth in positions. Other people have been deployed in different spots, and it's working. And Unai's doing, a lot of great work there. But I love Leon. I really want to see him to come good, but I just don't think it's going to be the ticket for him. I think he definitely has that ability, and he definitely has the confidence. His end product isn't there. Hitting these shots and just blaring them off target, over the top. It's just not good enough. And Traore picks up a goal or two, but again, a bit too brittle. A bit concerning, really. A really bit concerning because obviously those wing players are so essential to a team that plays with fluidity and speed like Villa are playing with. So, yeah, I think that's going to be an issue. Number 3, missed opportunities. So, just so you know, Villa had 16 chances in this game compared to just 6 by Wolverhampton Wanderers. However, it's a lot more damning when you realise that only 3 of those 16 were on target. So if my maths are correct, that's less than 20%. It's about 18.5% on target, which is poor. Poor from a professional Premier League squad. So that is going to hurt you. And obviously, we can't keep expecting Ollie to pick up goals. He's had an incredible run. We need to be a little bit more clinical where it counts. And this has always been my concern with Ollie as a player, but he's working so hard now at Villa. He's kind of getting around that. But as a team, we can't be missing that many opportunities. And we have to be getting more shots on target because at least with on target, you have the opportunity of falling to someone else. So, it's good to have that ability. Now that rolls me on very nicely to my next point, which is Buendia. Emiliano Buendia he's gone missing. He's gone absolutely missing in action, and it's frightening. So in the last 10 games, he has achieved 1 goal and 2 assists. Remember, this was the club's record signing. This is a young, hungry Argentinian that wants to get his place back in that Argentinian national team. And when he's on, I think he's there. He's great on the ball. His touch is beautiful. But him and Watkins, you saw it against United the other week. They were literally arguing with each other. There was one particular moment where I think Watkins or one of them turned to the other and literally screamed into the other guy's face. And that is not what you want to see from a cohesive unit. I used that term earlier. Buendia is frustrated, right? And he's a very passionate player, as South Americans always are, more so than anyone else. And that passion can spill over on both sides. It can be positive, but it can be negative. I think right now we're seeing a negative side. I think it's kind of affecting him and it's getting to him, and he needs to get out of his head because he's better than that. He has got that quality, but he needs to be picking up these numbers because 1 goal, 2 assists in 10 games it's rookie. It's really quite rookie, and it's not what you expect from a 35 million player. So yeah, really, really concerning. I'd love to hear Villa fans if you feel the same. Do you think he's doing enough? Considering what we know about Watkins, I don't think that 1-2 is working. And it's getting to the point now where you're going, do you start Duran in a 4-4-2? I know it seems like ridiculous, but Buendia is not doing what he needs to do. He's not clinical. And so we already established that the team as a whole isn't. Maybe Duran needs more of a run-in, or maybe someone else needs to be deployed there. Maybe could Ramsey do a job there? I don't know. It's an interesting one. We did see Kamara back as well. That was another positive. Unfortunately, last bit we got to end on the 5th, and I'm gonna be careful with this one. So I was gonna say have this point as have we peaked? I don't think that's fair though. I think we've had back-to-back losses. Yes, it is against a Wolverhampton team that had 3 chances, scoring one of them. And it was a great finish, got up well, beautiful, nothing anyone could do about that. There was arguments on the marking, poor old Jacob Ramsey was given that job and maybe he shouldn't have. But we also then lost to United. But United didn't deserve it. It was a lucky bounce by Fernandes. I don't think, and United fans, you got to be honest, I don't think you did enough in that game to warrant the win. It was very much us towards the end of the game. We just again weren't clinical enough, and that's the difference. That's where you picked up the points. So I don't want to say this is a peak or that new manager bounce is finished. But I think it's maybe a little bit of a reality check. We got ahead of ourselves. Europe is still there. It's still an opportunity, but we need results to go in our favour. We need Tottenham to lose. We need Brighton to lose. Things like that. Now, we do have Brighton last game of the season, so that could be a huge, huge game for us. So fingers crossed we still have that. But I think hopefully Unai will get the team in, maybe give them a day off, just let them recuperate, and then come back strong next week because we need a big performance. If we don't pick up 3 points next week, then Europe is off the table. There's no way. But I think it's still a great feeling right now. And I just want to end on that point. I watched a video I uploaded in 2016. It was I think YouTube made it into a short. And it was basically it was recording fan reaction. We'd just drawn 1-1 with Wycombe Wanderers. And I remember using the post as saying how shameful it was to see Villa fans acting in such a way. They were just screaming the same profanities at every player. You're this, you're that. Bakuna smiles off the bus. It was a nightmare. But it was the passion and the desire and the pure worry and frustration of the Villa fans. It was spilling over, and unfortunately, in certain circumstances, it's very, very unflattering and not pretty. But to think from there, where we all remember that team with the Bakunas and the Ios and Kieran Clark and Micah Richards. Much I love Micah, he was just not at his best. The knees were probably gone, and we were struggling. And now here we are flying back and potentially looking like a European team. And that's a great feeling, and one that we deserve. So it's not all doom and gloom, Aston Villa fans, but it is, I think, a bit of a reality check. So fingers crossed, we will course correct, and we'll be good to go next week. But anyways, this has been me, Luke the Duke, getting on those shorts. Gotta love it. And we look forward to doing another one of these soon. You guys are great. So please remember to like and subscribe. It is huge. It really helps us. We need to try and get up to 1,000 by the end of the next couple of months. So please hit those comments and drop some comments. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. Do you want any other commentary? Would you like any other analysis? With JP doing a piece with me every week on a back and forth? Would that be fun? Let us know if there's something you'd like to hear from a Villa perspective especially, and we'll get it done. Have a good one. Cheers.
This is the North End. This is the North End.